Paying bills profit the spirit. Paying bills a spiritual deposit. So all praises be to the Most High. Glory be to the throne. Something the Most High I feel like dropped in my spirit a little while ago. So I've been thinking about / meditating on for a little while now. Is that paying bills, is a spiritual act. It's a operation of performance. That's the word. It's a performance of keeping a commandment of the Most High, maybe even multiple commandments of the Most High. So in this new century, or in this, today, as I sit here, they call it so-called 2024. All praises be to the Most High. We have this thing called where we pay bills. It's almost religious because you do it either weekly, monthly, yearly. You can pay bills as far as you can have subscriptions for, entertainment, whether it be stuff like Netflix or Hulu. You can have subscriptions for car washes these days. Some people have cameras. A lot of people have cameras in their homes. You can pay a monthly fee to be able to have your cameras or your security systems working. People have cars and vehicles and trucks that they finance by taking out a loan, so they in turn pay monthly for it. People have insurance on their vehicles, so they may pay yearly, monthly, every 3 months, every 6 months for it. All these things accumulative are bills. People rent homes or rent apartments, townhomes, condos, cottages. In turn, they pay a bill called rent or mortgage. People buy homes, same thing. Cars, same thing. You pay bills. They call it a car note or whatever, right? So paying bills is part of this society, and sometimes, people they're frustrated, they're stressed out because they pay bills. Sometimes they get angry with the creditor or whoever they have to pay a bill to, and they make maybe statements in their mind or even out loud like they're not gonna get their money, or they didn't this, so I'm not gonna pay them that, or whatever. They make these type of statements that are like almost like they're mad at that person or they hate that person because they have to pay them a bill every week, month, or year. And something I started thinking about, like, I'm not just paying bills, or someone may just get into this routine in this matrix. You definitely can, where I make money to spend money. I make money just to pay bills. And they may get one down. And they may not see no type of significance in this, no benefit in this, even though they have what they have because they have to pay this bill. They may not see really no value in it, especially some of us that are in this walk or in this faith of attempting to love the Most High with our heart, mind, and soul, and love our neighbor as ourselves, keeping the commandments, also referred to as the truth, which is, Christ and the law, right? So we may look at this like, we in oppression, we in captivity, we in bondage. Here we are just paying bills. But again, all praises to the Most High, glory be to the throne. I feel like he dropped something in my spirit that has elevated me in motivation and inspiration, that paying bills is actually a performance, is you performing commandments or the commandment of the Most High. So let's start at Sirach chapter 18, verse 22. Sirach chapter 18, verse 22, also called Ecclesiasticus. It says, Sirach 18, verse 22, let nothing hinder thee to pay thy vow in due time, and defer not until death to be justified. It says, let nothing stop you from paying your vow. See, essentially, bills, monthly subscriptions, loans that you have to pay back, whether it be a college loan, student loan, car loan, house loan, cell phone loan. These things are vows and oaths. When you sign on that line, or you sign on the iPad, or you sign online, or however you sign up for what you're going to pay monthly for, right? You're making a oath or a vow that you will pay if they perform. So, for instance, you want high-speed internet? The company will come out and say, we can provide this. We'll give you this, that, and the other. It's going to cost you this much. This is how you hook it up. You want to sign up or not? You sign up. You're happy with your internet. You pay your, $50 to, I don't know, people may pay $180, I don't know, to that company to continue to do the work for you, to provide the service to you. That goes the same with the light bill. You see a car, you like that car. You need a car. You go and you say, hey, can I want this car. What do I need to do to have this car? You say, well, this car is $30,000. If we seen your credit, we checked you out, you know what I'm saying? If you put this much down, this is how much it is monthly. You say, sign me up. Now, when that monthly car loan comes around, where you have to pay every month, that is a vow and an oath that you should be paying with happiness, with joy. You wanted it. You technically have it because you either wanted it or you needed it. So Rock 18:22. Let nothing get in the way. Hinder thee to pay thy vow in due time. So they give you a due date, the 25th of every month. Pay it on time. That's your vow. That's your oath. You made it, right? Numbers chapter 30 and verse 2. This is very important. These are commandments of the Most High. That can be executed by just paying your monthly, weekly, yearly obligations that you signed up for. Or if you didn't sign up for it, you had to sign up for it. Numbers chapter 30, verse 2. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, this is the law of God, or what? Swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall what? Not break his word. He shall do according to all, some, all, half, all that proceeded out of his mouth. That's Numbers chapter 30, verse 2, the law of God. So if I make an oath or I bind it's telling you right here in verse 2 that your oath binds your soul with a bond. You're binding your soul. When you speak out of your mouth, or your actions show, hey, I will do this. You should not break your word, and you should do all according to that proceeded out of your mouth. Okay? So when you pay your bills, this is low-key a spiritual deposit. And when I say spiritual deposit, I'm speaking of, those that may be in the knowledge or understanding that, Hamashiach said, store your treasures in heaven. And when you keep commandments, I'm led to believe this is you storing treasures in heaven. So this is a spiritual deposit. Every time you pay a bill, just like, I don't know, if you, just like, for instance, there's investment loans, there's IRAs, there's retirement, right? Let's stick with retirement or 401ks, retirement, right? Every month, let's say you get a paycheck of, I don't know, $2,000. You say, sister, you put in the system, hey, I want you to take $200 out of this $2,000 every time I get paid and put it into a retirement account. So that way, when I retire in a few years, or I retire in the future, I have this much money set aside. So this is a deposit from my $2,000 into a different account so I can use this when I retire. When you keep commandments of the Most High and the faith in Christ, I believe this here is a way to deposit spiritually into that treasure in heaven. All praises be to the Most High. Luke chapter 10 and verse 7. Hamashiach, Christ. Luke chapter 10 and verse 7. Red letter says, and in the same house remain, eating and drinking such thing as they give. Here's the point. For the laborer is worthy of his hire. What? For the laborer, the worker, the employee, the corporation is worthy of his hire. You hired them. You employed them. You pay to keep their lights on, or your payment goes into them being able to keep their lights on. Your payment goes into that company being able to make new phones and do updates and make new devices. You hired them. You said, oh, I like your product. I'm going to buy your product. But you know what? I'm going to pay monthly for your product. I'm going to take the deal that you're offering. You hired them. Mashiach said, let's read Luke chapter 10, verse 7. And in the same house remain eating and drinking such things as they give. For what? The laborer is worthy of his hire. Go not from house to house. So right there, just in that passage itself, there's so much in there. He's letting you know that a worker, an employee, a laborer is worthy to be paid. Especially you hired them. So if a worker is worthy of his hire, is the people who provide service worthy of what you hired them for? Matthew chapter 20. Hamashiach again. Matthew chapter 20, starting at verse 1. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man. So for the kingdom of heaven is like a simile. It's a simile unto a man that is a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire what? Laborers into his vineyard. He went out early to hire people. Verse 2. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny in a day, he sent them into his vineyard. So they had terms and conditions drawn up. They had a contract, an agreement, a sales agreement drawn up. Hey, listen, I got a vineyard, it looks like y'all need some work. Y'all advertising your abilities and your work. You're saying that you are you're a good grape gatherer. Okay, cool. I need a few grape gatherers. If I pay you a penny a day, will you gather the grapes I need? Or you say that you're a good cell phone company and that you can provide, 5G everywhere. I go into remote places, I'm going to need that service. You said that your deal is $150 a month. So I pay you $150 a month. When I go into my remote areas, I'm going to have this cell phone service, correct? Yes. Okay, let's agree. Where do I sign? Sign right here, sir, at the bottom of the page. And this service is a 2-year contract. So this 2-year contract will provide you high-speed 5G LTE in all your remote places for a total of 2 years. At the end of 2 years, we can reconsider if you want to do it again, or we can redraw up a contract then. But here's the contract. Okay, I will pay $150 for 2 years to this corporation, this company. I am hiring them to provide me this service. That's an oath. That's a contract. It says, let nothing hinder thee from paying that contract. Matthew chapter 20, still, let's drop down to verse 8. So when evening, or the night, or evening time was come, the Lord of the vineyard said unto his steward, call the laborers and give them their hire, beginning from last on to the first. You see that? So even in this parable, which there's so much in there, I'm just taking a piece out of it to prove, the meditation, or what I think the Most High dropped in my spirit, is that even in this, what is the man doing? He's paying the laborers for their hire. He had a contract drawn up, and he executed his portion of it. They did their job. He did his job. All praises be to the Most High. Sirach chapter 18 and verse 15. My son, blemish not thy good deeds. See, don't mess up all the good things you've done. Ezekiel 18 says, which is probably one of my favorite chapters in the Bible. It's definitely one of my favorite chapters in the Bible. Ezekiel 18 says, it goes into detail that if a righteous man turns away from his righteousness and starts doing wickedness, all his righteousness will be void and void. They'll be canceled out. But great news, gospel. If a wicked man turns from all his wicked deeds and starts to do righteousness, all his wickedness will not be accounted to him. Only thing the Most High see is righteousness. He defines that man as a righteous man. All praise to the Most High. Sirach 18:15 says, my son, blemish not thy good deeds, neither use uncomfortable words when thou givest anything. So uncomfortable words is like insults. Saying things like, here's your funky little money. You know what I mean? Let's say you owe a brother or sister and you have to pay them, but you the one who requested the loan from them. You the one who requested assistance from them. And now it's time to pay them back, and you have some uncomfortable words for them. You asked for this car and you wanted it. You begged, you even prayed to God for it. And now it's time to pay the loan, and you're giving uncomfortable words to the person on the car rep on the phone. It says right here, neither use uncomfortable words when thou givest anything. So if you execute that, I believe again, here's another spiritual deposit and a way not to blemish thy good deeds, thy good works, that we shall be judged by in the end. It says the books were open in Revelation, I believe 20. And it says that they were judged out of the book according to their works, their deeds. So Sirach chapter 29, starting at verse 1. So Sirach chapter 29, starting at verse 1. He that is merciful will lend unto his neighbor, and he that strengtheneth his hand keepeth the commandments. Look at that. He that is merciful, which is a fruit of the Spirit, will lend unto his neighbor. So that also goes for what? These corporations, these companies, the person that has the car that is lending it to you, they're a lender. It says, he that is merciful will lend. All right. Verse 2. Lend to thy neighbor in time of his need, and pay thy neighbor again in due season. So the lender shall lend to someone in their need, right? Rather it's a brother or sister or a family. You have it to lend to them, right? They need, $100, $200, and you got it. You're not taking money from anywhere else. This money is not tied up for anything else. You actually have it to help them, right? You help them. What does it say about the one that was lended to? And pay thy neighbor again in due season. So y'all agree, hey, I need to borrow. Can you lend me $200 until next prep day? No problem. I'll you know what? Yes, I can lend it to you. All right, cool. Hey, brother or sister, or Ak or Koti, I'm going to try to pay you before 6 o'clock. I'm going to try to pay you, Lord willing, before 6 o'clock on prep day. I really appreciate this money. Come prep day, 6 o'clock, that money should be paid back to that person. Let nothing hinder thee. So that means if you have to work extra, if you have to put down your special desires and needs, if you have to eat less food, if you have to, some people drink moderately, right? And modesty and in decency and in the right times. If you are one that indulges in that, well, guess what, brother or sister? This bottle this week cannot be purchased because I need to pay my brother or sister back. All right. Oh, I like to drive about, a long distance to go sit at the beach, 20, 30 miles. It usually costs me about $20, $30 to go do that because I have to purchase gas. Well, can't do that this week or next week because I need to make sure I get all the money cumulative to be able to pay my neighbor his money back, to be able to pay my bills, to be able to pay my credit card. I put all my groceries on credit cards. I put all the gas on credit cards. I need to sacrifice in an area, tell myself no, and be able to pay my bills, obligations, and my vows. Thus, my good deeds be not blemished. I need to love the Most High with all my heart, mind, and soul, love my neighbor as myself, and keep the commandments and faith in Christ. What does it say? Verse 2 of Sirach 29. Lend to thy neighbor in time of his need, and pay thy neighbor again in due season. Verse 3. Keep thy word. What? Keep thy word, huh? Keep thy word and deal faithfully with him. Leviticus, I believe, 19. There's a verse in there that says, deal not falsely. Verse 3, keep thy word and deal faithfully with him, and thou shalt always find the thing that is necessary for thee. This makes me think of credit score, credit history, right? So if you deal faithfully and you have good credit with this person, right? They know, Masha tells us, know them by their fruits, right? Discern them by their fruits, their deeds, right? Their actions. This person, you know what I'm saying, they're known to always pay someone back. They're known to have self-control, and they operate in the fruit of temperance. They control themselves. They don't let their appetites derail them from keeping the commandments of the Most High, right? That person going to do all that they can to make sure that their obligations and their oaths are fulfilled. Credit score. So when a corporation looks at your credit score and they're like, oh, well, this person borrow money from this company, they borrow money from that company, this company never got their money back, this company gets late payments, yet this person standing in front of me and telling me they're going to pay me back on time. Credit score. You know what, I'm taking a big risk here, gotta charge your interest, pal. Your interest can't be 0.2% or 1%, 2%, 3%. You know, it's got to be about 7, 8, 9, 10%. Because what? Credit score. Let's read this one more time. Or let me read this one more time. Verse 3. Keep thy word. Didn't Numbers 30:2 say, do all that proceeded out thy mouth? He shall not break his word. Keep thy word and deal faithfully with him, and thou shalt always find the thing that is necessary for thee. So when you apply for a credit card, or you apply for a credit loan, or you bought a car, got lended to before, by, I don't know, a bank I had before was Ally Bank, right? So you pay Ally Bank off after your 84 months, or whatever the terms be, 72 months. Now you own this car, you have great credit with them, they want to finance you again. So you get done with them, and you have your car for years, and then all of a sudden you need a bigger car, right? Because your family's grew. You need another car. You go back to Ally, you say, hey, Ally, I want to get this SUV, it's about $40K. Can you loan it to me? They're like, yeah, sure, no problem. Because we already know you by your fruits. So the interest that they would give to somebody else, because they don't either know that person has no credit history, their credit score is down because of their payment history and utilization, and because they don't pay back on time, or they don't pay back at all. Now their interest is going to be way higher than someone that keeps their word, deals faithfully, and now the wisdom book says, you shall always find the thing necessary for thee. So now this SUV you need that's necessary for you, you're approved. And you have a monthly payment that is suitable for you. This is the word of God that it says in Joshua, I believe 1:8. You keep the word of the Most High, you shall prosper. You should be prosperous in all that you do. All praises to the Most High, man. Truly. Verse 4. Many, when a thing was lent them, it says many, not a few, not a remnant, but many. When a thing was lent them, reckon it to be found, and put them to trouble that helped them. So these corporations, is your neighbor, your brother or sister, they lend it to you. They took a chance on you, and now created sorrows and hardship for them because you couldn't pay back, or you didn't pay back, or you let things hinder you. You didn't tell yourself no, you didn't exercise that. You had no self-control. You put yourself first instead of the Most High, and instead of loving your neighbor with all your heart, mind, and soul, and loving your neighbor as yourself, you put yourself first, your wants, your needs, your appetites. Thus, when it was time to pay back, you couldn't. Thus, when it was time to pay back, you didn't want to. And now, because you didn't want to, you give them uncomfortable words. Hey, bro, you rich anyway, bro. You don't need it. Bro, number one, that's not the point. And number two, that's not what we agreed to. All praises to the Most High. Verse 5. Till he has received, he will kiss a man's hand. Yeah. Bro, please, bro. I love you, bro. Please, I really need it, bro. Help me out, bro. Please, Verizon, please approve me. Please, God, please. I really want this phone. Matter of fact, God, I'm going to use this phone to serve you. Please, whatever. Kissing a man's hand. I'll do anything. You know what? I'll even sweeten the deal. Instead of just giving you $50 back, bro, I'll give you $65 back, bro. I promise, bro. I'll walk your dog, anything you need, bro. If you ever go out of town, your dog can stay with me. Until he get what he want, what it say? He will kiss a man's hand, and for his neighbor's money, he will speak submissively. Yeah, bro, I'm going to need this back at 7 o'clock, you know what I'm saying, on fit day. You going to be able to do that? Yes, sir. I definitely can do that. Con, sir. Con, but when he should repay, he will prolong the time. Hey, bro, it's fifth day, bro. You need my cash app. You pulling up? What's up? Nah, bro, I ain't gonna be able to pay you until second day of next week. What it say? He will speak submissively, but when he should repay, he will prolong the time and return words of grief and complain at the time. Bro, you know that was too short of a time. You know what I'm saying? You know we out here oppressed, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to work hard, bro. I got these kids, bro. I got these children. I got a wife. I got this. I got that. It's like, what? He will prolong the time and return words of grief and complain at the time. Oh, your credit score just plummet. Your credit score just plummet, brother or sister. Verse 6, if he prevail, he shall hardly receive the half, and he will count it as if he had found it. If not, he has deprived him of his money, and he has gotten him an enemy without cause. He pay him with cursings and railings, and for honor he will pay him disgrace. Verse 7, many, therefore, have refused to lend for other men's ill dealing, fearing to be defrauded. Man, how many people, man? I remember one time I read or I either heard something about this man. I was in college at this McDonald's. This man used to sit in front of the McDonald's and ask for change or money or whatever. I think he presented himself, to myself and pretty much, I guess, many others, that he was poor and he needed money. And I think later on it came out that this man made like $1 million or something like that. And he actually didn't need the money, is I think the way the narrative was spent. As if he got rich off of other people, but he never really needed it and he already had funds. He was pretending. He was pretending to be poor and defrauded the people. Just like, in today's time, we get phone calls and it says scam likely. Some people don't get, they don't come through as scam likely and they're telling you, hey, they need help or they need this. Or, I've heard of people meeting people online and these people being in other countries, or people presenting themselves on TV late night or whenever saying, hey, we're trying to help, all these people in this land like Africa. And come to find out, it's all a scam. They're not giving the money or help using the money to actually feed the children. They're using the money for themselves and getting rich off of somebody else back. They're defrauding and deceiving their neighbor. It says right here, verse 7, because of other men's ill dealing, many men, women have refused to lend, fearing to be defrauded. Even in a sense where, again, like I said, credit score plays a big part into this. What are your fruits? What are you known to do? What has been your record? What has been your history? Now, I'll praise to the Most High. See, at the beginning of this chapter, it says, he that is merciful will lend to his neighbor. He's executing a major part of the fruit of the Spirit. And I believe there's levels to the fruit of the spirits. Like fruit of the Spirit, fruit of the Holy Spirit. There's levels. So one that is merciful will lend to his neighbor. Hamashiach and the Most High, they clear one of all sin and all guilt. So they don't have to necessarily go to your credit score and be like, you know what? You couldn't pay 6 years ago. You was in a different situation 6 years ago, 30 days ago, 60 days ago. You was in a different situation. Now you're in this situation and you're telling me you're ready to bring forth fruit for repentance. You know what? Mercy. Show me. But many, it says right here, no, they too afraid. Their mercy doesn't extend that far. So what I take from this is, if I'm able, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to go with verse 1 and be merciful and lend unto my neighbor. So if I got it and I'm able, I'm going to take this counsel right here. Luke chapter 6 and verse 35. But love ye your enemies and do good. Mashiach speaking. And lend. Do what? And lend. Hoping for nothing again. What? Hoping for nothing again. And your reward shall be great, and ye shall be the children of the highest. Why? For he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. Verse 36. Be ye therefore merciful, as your Father also is merciful. So, all praises to the Most High. I think even in Sirach, there's another spot that says, lose your money over a friend and not basically under a bed. Like, saving all your money, it might burn up in a house, or, something might happen where you lose that money because you just can't find it anymore. Sirach, I believe, is narrating or alluding you to say, you know what? I'm going to give to this person. They may not be able to pay it back. I understand they're in a tough situation. Hey, I'm going to give it to them. And if they don't give it back, I'll lose it over them. And I'm not going to be an enemy with them because I already understand they may not be able to pay back. And on top of that, I'm only lending because I have it. It's not going to put me in a situation where I can't pay someone else back. So I'm not going to, if I make, let's say I make, one makes $2,000 a month, right? Or $2,000 every 2 weeks. And this money is tied up already. $1,500 goes to rent. $50 goes to the cell phone company. Let's say all that whole $2,000 literally is tied up for other oaths I already have, other obligations. That means that's really not my money. So I cannot lend you this other person's money. I must give this money to who I already committed myself to give it to. I made an oath that I'm going to pay this person this amount of money. So once I get the money, it's not mine. It's going directly to them. So when you ask me, do I have it? I really don't, because I have to pay others already. So when I lend, I'm going to lend what? Hoping for nothing back again, because I truly have it, and I don't now have to create an enemy because the person was unable to pay back. And I cannot break the word. I cannot break the law of God in one area to keep the law of God in another area. So all praise to the Most High. Glory to the throne. Again, that's something I feel like he also put in my spirit. But one would have the money and want to hold on to the money and rather lose it in a house fire than to give it to someone that they know they don't have the ability to pay back. So no, I'm not giving them this money. Mashiach says, lend hoping for nothing back again. All praise to the Most High. Another spiritual deposit. Paying bills, a spiritual deposit. A performance of keeping the law of God. Psalm 37 and verse 21. The wicked borrow. Who? The wicked borrow, and what's their action? And pay not again. So when a man borrows or a woman borrows and they pay not again, Psalms 37:21 is saying that it's classifying that person as wicked. But the righteous show it mercy and give it. See that? But the righteous show mercy and give. Either way. Now, you can be a man that borrows and pays again, and the opposite of wicked is righteous. Again, spiritual deposit, spiritual fruit, performance of keeping the law of God. Jonah, the book of Jonah, chapter 2. Jonah chapter 2 and verse 9. But I will sacrifice unto thee with the voice of thanksgiving. I will pay that I have vowed. What? I will pay that I have vowed. Salvation is of the Lord. So in conclusion, be thankful for what you have, number one. Pay what you have vowed. And in conclusion, paying bills is an execution of God's commandments. This faith is the best investment in thy actions, including thy reactions, is thy boarding pass or ticket in. It's your entry. Without ticket, there's no entry. Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14. Revelation chapter 22, right at verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments. Favored and happy are those that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. Maybe read chapters 20, 21, and 22 of Revelation and see if you would like to sign up for this entryway into the gates into the city. Shalom.